Welcome to our continuing set of lessons from Ashtar Command. This lesson was recorded in 1997 and features the Commander of Hades Space presenting a dissertation on the lessons set before birth. The channeler for this was Mark Crocker, while I, Russ Hatfield, asked the questions. A full transcript of this session is at the link below in the description, and we encourage you to please subscribe to our channel to be alerted to future lessons and channeling sessions from the members of Ashtar Command in a higher dimension like Kara, who you can see over my shoulder. We hope you enjoy this lesson from Omal called Lessons Set Before Birth.
Okay, let us get down to business and address a new set of topics, a new subject. Development of the self. It is a little step from what we've been dealing, which is self-love, self-loving morals, the benefits of the group. This is now a discussion or a dissertation on the individual growth, individual spiritual development. And in looking at the development and the understanding and the consciousness necessary to achieve growth is something that is up to the individual. Is it right to force, as Kiri would put it, your point of view on somebody? That is up to you. That is part of the learning of self-growth, making that decision. We cannot tell you it is right or wrong, or I cannot. It is up to you to formulate for yourself if something is right or wrong. And in the growth that comes from these internal debates, and that is what they are, internal debates, is the advancement. With the interaction with other people, you grow, you learn, you breathe, you live, you grow. And growing is what all my dissertations are about, indirectly. They give you a framework of patterns, as Kiri said, a framework to build upon. And in doing so, the growth that comes within yourself blooms into a flower which can be seen externally. The confidence that you walk, the weight in your voice, the appearance of understanding, the appearance of people needing to seek you out for your advice. This comes with self-growth and self-understanding. And with this understanding and growth, you can start to affect other people. But growing for oneself is important. To be conscious of how you interact and develop and the love necessary for you to advance. Are you awake, Russ?
Of course I'm awake.
You were breathing deeply.
Oh, that's the cat.
Yes, so it is. But growing and taking care of yourself. Kiri talks about what is right or wrong for the individual or the person that is being manipulated. But it is also important, first of all, for yourself to grow and what is right to help you grow. Set circumstances occur in your life that challenge you and make you grow. And the growing is important. How you grow is up to you. As I've stated many, many times, I can't tell you how to grow, how you should grow, why you should grow. That is up for you to understand and reason out. Do we have any questions?
Yes, when you mentioned about the necessary love that needed to grow from, you have to achieve that through a long process of learning how to love.
Correct. It goes back to my dissertation that I believe you have just put on the internet about self-love.
Self-love, correct.
And even though this is the next step on and over, it does interact with my previous dissertations that I have given in the past.
Right.
And in a way, they interact with the dissertations that Corton has given about communication. If you were to put Corton's dissertations, his last 2 dissertations, and my last 3 dissertations together, and put them side by side, you would see that there are certain patterns and structures that are formulated together, which set up necessary structures to be built upon.
Okay. When you speak on the growth and the love necessary, we're actually dealing with a question of strength, aren't we? I mean, it's easier to not love, almost. And it takes more strength, I think, to love everything than it does to just be ambivalent.
Yes, ambivalent is a better way to describe what you were thinking.
Right.
Not to love suggests the opposite.
To hate. No. Not to, it's just, apathetic, ambivalent, just, you don't care about things. You just deal with them and you relate to them in a way that it's just life. That's the easy way out.
That is the easy way that achieves nothing. You do not grow.
Right. So you're talking about actually gaining an amount of strength as if you're exercising your muscles, if you're going to the gym.
Yes. In a simplified way, yes.
Okay. Well, that's what I'm trying to work with this in a simplified way to let people understand more how to take your lessons and how to apply them in their lives.
Correct. In a simplified way, yes. But it is a little bit more complicated than just learning how to love. It is learning how to interact when not to love, when not to do something, when to do something, why you do something, why you do not do something. It is a set of structures that are there to be built upon that works for you. As has been stated, what may work for me may not work for you. This should be put down as a commandment, but we do not give commandments. It would be a good idea to say, this is a suggestion for growth. What works for you may not work for me.
So let's say that you have a person who's just, like as we mentioned, apathetic on life in general, loves occasionally. Like is happy about movies and certain events in his life and things he reads in the news. And other times it's the other way, the other direction. Would it then be an ideal way to do this is to start selling a regimen of,
No, it would not. And this is why.
Okay.
That when you see that something is wrong and you set up a regiment, you are creating strict, non-flexible pathways. There has to be times where an individual hates something, and at other times that individual loves that same object that they hated. It is a balancing. How do we do that? It is through interaction that we learn that an individual that neither hates nor loves does not grow. We've stated that.
Correct.
But interacting gives you experiences. From day to day, things are different. Let's just say we pick up a inscribing object. We can pick it up many, many different ways. We can pick it up by the point, the end, the middle, the upper middle, the lower middle, the middle, and so on. We can pick it up from the left, the right, and again, so on. These are the same thing. It's something that you do repetitively. But it is still interaction in different ways. And so by interacting in different ways, you grow.
Okay. So if you approach a situation one in which you're going to be interacting in. Is there perhaps then something to remind yourself that when you go into this situation, something that makes it more happier than you would normally, like just a state, or not a statement, but just a reminder, like a post-it note on your brain.
Yes, kind of. But again, it is by pure interaction. Things change second by second, minute by minute, hour by hour, day by day. Things interact differently all the time due to the density of the air, the lack of density, the humidity, the temperature, the wind. All sorts of factors interact upon an object or an individual. The time of day, the time of night, the amount of sleep, the amount of non-sleep, the part of the day, whether it is beginning or end, or so on, makes interaction different every time.
How about the strength of the photon cloud?
That waves and flows and ebbs and grows and dissipates as you pass through it, as been stated many, many times.
Right, so it does have an effect.
Correct.
Okay.
And the interaction is different from moment to moment. Last question.
Okay. So basically, when we are going to go through and put this into our lives now, what we are doing is we are shooting for growth. So therefore, when we enter into interaction, then the best thing to remind oneself is growth.
Do you want a yes or no answer on this?
Unless you have a dissertation to go with it.
I could give a very long dissertation, but it would be too long at this point. Okay.
Okay.
As I've stated, interaction and growth vary from moment to moment. This is an answer that is not fully explanation, cannot fully explain how it works, or why it works, or how it should work. But it is the best answer I can give without going into a detailed, long dissertation with no opportunity for you to discuss it due to the fact that this is the last question.
Okay.
And that is your answer.
Thank
you. Live long, prosper, and I'll be back.